burnouts in the car. I just didn't want to do one that's severe with a lot of smoke and whatnot, because I hate the aftermarket smoke, the smell. I hate the smell, but yeah, you can do a lot, easily do burnouts in this thing now, frankly speaking. So that beeping is just my seatbelt, just an indication of my seatbelt. But we're gonna hit the road, and I'm gonna talk about the car. But let me lock this gate real quick, and I'll be back with y'all. All right, y'all, we back. We're gonna talk about the car. We'll hit the road and whatnot. So it's a 2012 SRT. Done your walk around and all that stuff. Kind of showed y'all the gist of it. I mean, what's been done to it. Yeah, the exhaust and all that stuff. It has a Valtronic exhaust system. Those of you that might be wondering, let's change the plate cover. It says that they're Valtronic. It's a Valtronic muffler that's on it. What is a Valtronic muffler, you might be wondering? It's a muffler which has a valve on it that you can use to open and close. The valve of the muffler, you know, it has a little thing to make the car louder and quieter type of deal with the push of a button. It's not too loud, honestly speaking. I did have some Flowmaster Outlaws on there, but the car was it's still so quiet, and I was told to delete that. I should have left it just on there because the sound didn't really much improve, honestly. The Valtronics really do muffle the car sound a lot, to the point in which if you want a car, you know, you want that sound, but you want absolutely no drone, which a lot of people do. This will be a good choice, but it muffles the sound so much. Maybe in a couple months, maybe when the muffler gets, you know, used really, then it might change. It might get louder. I'm not sure. But as of right now, it feels like it's gotten a little louder, but not to the point in which I'm happy about still, because I wanted it still a little bit louder than that. But anyway, let's close the windows so that y'all can hear me. Next thing is we have the front end conversion that's been done 2019. You'll need your hood, bumpers, headlights, fenders, and the support, the radiator support and all that stuff, wiring harness as well. You'll need those things in order to do that front end conversion. A few people have asked me on Facebook when I post my car. They'll be asking me about that, and I'm probably sure somebody might hit me up in the comments or might be thinking, what do I need to do that as well? So those are basically the things that you will need. You will need the side fenders as well. They are not the same as the OEM ones that's already on the car in the 2011 to 14. You need to upgrade that as well. The hood as well, you need to change the bumper, the headlights, and obviously your wiring harness, the grills and all that whatnot, the little pieces here and there. You need to change that as well. So keep that in mind. The next thing we have, it's been lowered, but this was done prior to me buying the car, so I don't know what lowering springs are on it, but he stated that it was only the front that were lowered. The rears were not touched, just the fronts were lowered a little bit. So I'm just leaving it the way it is for now, until maybe in the future I might put some coilovers or so like that. But as of right now, no, I have no plans of spending any more money on this car, frankly speaking. I'm just leaving it the way it is and go from there. 20% window tint. Tail light has been tinted as well, but it's still visible with day or night when you brake or signal. What else has been done? That's from the exterior. And the wheels, Dodge, you know, it's aftermarket wheels and all that stuff. They're like Viper replica wheels, but for the Dodge Chargers. And they're 20s. They're 20-inch wheels as well. So that should basically sum up everything with the car, with the exterior, frankly speaking. The rest of the stuff is basically interior mods, in which I'm about to get to in a second. I just need to put some more fuel in the car, and then we go hit the road. So I'm gonna pause this video here, and then I'm gonna get some gas, and then we'll continue. where we left off. Alright, we're back. Wasn't completely low in fuel, but I just wanted to top it off. That way I don't have to deal with it tomorrow. As it's still daylight and all that stuff. Car traffic's moving anyway. I was about to reverse and go the other way because things just started piling up. Traffic just started piling up here, but it's all good. Where did we leave off? Oh, on the interior. Interior, I have a lot of carbon fiber pieces been done to the vehicle, which I showed you in the video. Not all the pieces came, which I'm kind of disappointed. I'll have to get with the seller and just let them know. It was supposed to be a thing at 23 piece, but I think I only got 15 or 16 pieces, something of that nature. But yeah, Android radio. That's what you're seeing there. That is not the OEM screen. Those of you might be thinking that might be OEM. It's not the OEM screen. It is an aftermarket screen. It's an aftermarket radio, actually, just made to look exactly like the OEM. The bottom piece of the radio is no longer there. I condemn that because I brought the wires down. I rolled the wires down. That way it's not touching on the unit 24/7 type of situation. What else did I get done with the interior? Hellcat cluster swap, bezel, as upgrade that as well with the bezel. What else? I think that was it. That's what. Well, a pedal commander. Those were basically the things that I've done in the interior. Not much. If you're trying to do a cluster swap, upgrade to the bigger one, you will need a taser in order to get the cluster to work. You can still work without a taser, get it to work without a taser, but you won't be able to scroll through the functions on the cluster itself, the functions that's on there. So whatever display it's already on, for instance, if it's on the fuel or it's on the speedometer, it's gonna stay there. You can't scroll through the following functions and all that stuff. So you will need a taser from Z Automotive in order to do that. Correcting the mileage as well. You will need to get your mileage corrected. If you're buying one, there are some companies that sell these clusters that do offer mileage correction as well. They'll put the miles for you and go from there. If not, if you're buying it from somebody who's just parting out their Dodge Charger, you can buy an Alpha OBD software and then do it yourself, but you will need an OBD device that is compatible with that software. So check with the company first to see that on their website they do show which ones are compatible with their device, with their software, so you can buy one of those and go from there. And correct your miles on your own. Just don't do anything fraudulent, illegal, or anything like that, because still at the end of the day, when they plug it up into an actual scanner, they will be able to pick up the actual mileage on it. So make sure you're actually putting the correct miles and not forging miles. Your car is maybe 150,000 miles, you're going to put it at, oh, it's only 80,000 miles or 60,000 miles type of deal, because you will get caught, you will get in trouble, and you will go to jail. If the person who is buying the vehicle from you maybe ends up finding out that you lied about the mileage and you didn't tell them or warn them about it or note it on the bill of sale, whatever the case may be, the actual mileage, close to actually mileage being, then you will get in trouble for that, because he can get his money back, because he was under the assumption you were selling him a car with certain miles, but turned out to be more than what you had stated. So you can get in trouble for that. So just FYI. That's about it. I mean, the pedal commander, it's not a tuner. It doesn't tune your vehicle. It doesn't make your car. It makes your car feel faster by basically messing with the throttle body. Basically, it opens the throttle body faster than usual. I mean, in many cases, people sit down. When you tap on your gas, your throttle responses very slowly on a stock vehicle. Now, you can still adjust it to put it on eco or turn it off, whereby it's just running on its normal valve. That way the valve is just opening normally, and it'll be slowly. Your throttle will just open slowly. That's what I mean. The throttle will open slowly, and it will just slowly open and go from there. Now, with the pedal commander, you can adjust that throttle response from the pedal commander. So if you have it on level 4 performance, Sport Plus and all that stuff. Which what will happen is, as soon as you tap on the gas just a little bit, it will go on full throttle, so the car will just pick up and go. You'll feel like the car has gained more horsepower, but it's not really adding more horsepower. It's just that the car is responding a lot faster than usual. So that's the gist of a pedal commander. But there's more details if you go on Google and just Google pedal commander and specs and whatever type of deal, and you go from there. I'm trying to keep the video as short as possible. It's already almost 19 minutes long, so I'm trying to go through things real quick. Personal review on the car. It's a good car, frankly speaking. It's a very fun car. It's my dream car, other than the fact that it does not have a sunroof and it doesn't have the red interior, in which I wanted. But you know, at the end of the day, my budget, you know, did not favor me to getting all that. Yes, it can be changed in the future, except for the sunroof. Although people do say you can have a sunroof added, I don't want to mess with it, frankly speaking, because my eyes, I'm just thinking, it's just going to be a leak. You know, you're going to have some type of leak and all that stuff, and going from there, if it's not professionally done, it's going to show and all that stuff. You can go from there. So I just don't want to deal with it. I'm going to leave it like that. The seats pretty much are easy to switch out, but you just need to find the seats at a good deal in order to go that route. Or yeah, you can get seat covers, throw it on there and call it a day, but then it starts to look really kind of tacky, and I don't want to go that route either as well. So I'm running it this way for now. I'm happy with it for now. At least it's not the cloth seats, because I hate the cloth seats with a passion. Frankly speaking, those of you that like the cloth seats, big ups to you. But me personally, I just hate the cloth seats. I really prefer the leather seats over cloth. What else? The car is quite this thing on gas. It's not bad. It is noticeable. It's not really fuel efficient. If you're thinking about buying it and like, oh, is it good on gas? It's not fuel efficient, but it's not that terrible. You know, it's just noticeable. Let me just put it that way. It's just noticeable. I'm spending about $50 a week on gas, frankly speaking, when it used to only cost me about $25, maybe $30 a week on gas on my other cars. Even coming from my 5.0, yes, I was spending about $25 to $30 a week going back and forth to work and just few small errands here and there, nothing major or of that nature. But the Charger is still the same thing, but less errands, but still at the end of the day, I find myself spending $50 on gas every week. It's a fun car. It's a very powerful car. It's quite noticeable. People do mess with you all the time in traffic. Other people with fast cars, they try and race you and all that stuff. I don't condone racing, so I don't feed into it type of deal. I'm not a wuss or anything of that nature. I just don't condone into it, and I'm not trying to get a ticket, speeding ticket, or anything of that nature. If you're buying this for racing and all that whatnot, yeah, it's gonna be powerful enough to actually impress you. But another thing is, just I would just say keep that in the, you know, racetrack and all that stuff. There are places for that and whatnot, so keep it at those areas, and make sure your primary thing is that you're being safe and going from there. Horsepower, it's an SRT. It's a true SRT. It's not a RT with headers changed and, you know, the head covers, you know, people doing that, getting the top header, you know, switching it out with a 6.4 and calling their 5.7 now 6.4 type of deal. No, it's an actual true 6.4. Car picks up and go if you need it to. It has quite enough horsepower, but if you're looking to buy a car pushing 500 horsepower, this is really easy to get 500-600 horsepower on it with a little bit of modification compared to Mustang 5.0, which is pushing about 420 horsepower, 425 horsepower, depending on the year and car that you're going with. Some of the newer ones will be pushing, like, you know, 500-600 dark horse and whatnot. But again, you're going for the Hellcats and all that stuff, you're gonna be pushing your 700-800 to 1,000 horsepower. So at the end of the day, still, if you're going with the SRT, you're looking at it that way, you know, as well, that hey, I want to get something decent, but I don't want to overspend type of deal. The SRT will be perfect. Comparing that to a 5.0, the SRT will be perfect, because still, if you're going for a 4-door, the Chargers basically, or the 300s, you're getting your 4-door, you're getting room and all that stuff. If you're going for a Challenger, then you're not really much concerned about room type of deal. So at that point as well, still, I would still go for the Challenger. I mean, over the if it's a SRT, over a 5.0. But still, if you go either way, you'll still be fine. You know, it will still be an equal trade-off type of deal. You're not really losing a lot from either or. The SRT will still from the get-go push more horsepower, but you can get the 5.0 to push those numbers as well. It's not gonna be hard, honestly speaking. What else would you guys want to know? Reliability, so far no issues, you know, knock on wood. So far, you know, it's been a good car and whatnot. But I don't race my car. That little burnout you see me doing earlier, it's actually my first time doing a burnout on this car. But the second time I've done a burnout was on my RT Max, which is on one of my videos there as well, that I've done a burnout. But other than that, I don't be doing burnouts and all that stuff. I only did it just to kind of show you guys, showcase it. That's it. But I don't go in traffic or go in places and start doing all that reckless stuff and whatnot, showing off and whatnot. I don't do all that. I'm fully capable of it. I know how to do it and everything. I just don't have interest in doing stuff like that, frankly speaking. What else? I think that's about it. You know, I think that's everything which I wanted to kind of say on this video concerning my car and everything about what's been done to it and what's in it. And those of you that are out there maybe looking into getting one as well, what to look out for. Read the person, see how they are, check the car out. If they were using the car for really racing and all that craziness, I would avoid it. You know, really, you know, have it checked out a little bit more before you actually make the purchase. Let the deal really be worth it before you put your foot in there. Make sure you are able to handle cars like this, because it's still, at the end of the day, it's a powerful car, it's a fast car, and it's a dangerous car as well. Another thing you have to keep an eye out is owning an SRT. You will be one of those people, one of those cars out there in which officers, cops will be watching out for and be watching what you're doing whilst you are in the midst of traffic and all that stuff, because they will feel like, there goes another reckless driver, you know, in his SRT and all that stuff. So he might be doing something crazy. He might be racing with his buddies. He might be racing somebody else. You know, they'll see two sports cars right there, boom, they'll look at you and they'll probably follow you and something like that. Yeah, you can probably outrun them in this thing, but cops are getting their upgrades and their vehicles and all that stuff, which at the end of the day, still, I don't condone racing. I'm not advising you to, that this not be one of those videos to actually, you know, convince you to actually buy just so for those reasons type of deal, because I don't support those things. But yeah, you will be an eye seeker with the cops, frankly speaking. So if you're a type of person whereby you find yourself always carrying things you're not supposed to be carrying, and you're maybe, you know, you're not clean, your background, you know, basically you're not wanted, you know, type of deal. If you are wanted and you have stuff you're not supposed to be having on you and whatnot, I would really avoid driving this car, because me, since I've owned it, I've gotten pulled over 3 times on just some bullshit. 1 tint, 2 was what's the other one? Oh, tint, yeah, taillight tint. The first one was tint, window tint. The second one was my taillight tint, which at the end of the day, I just showed him. I said, dude, you know, I brake and he can see me. He can see everything, the signal. He told me to do all that. He was good. He said, okay, you know, he just let me go and all that stuff. So the third time was, I wasn't really pulled over. I was at Quick Trip. I parked my car. I was going inside getting something. When I came out and all that stuff, the officer was standing there looking at my car, and I was like, what's going on? And he was like, yeah, I was just admiring the car. This is, you know, you have a different, he didn't recognize that. Well, he did recognize that the front and back was different. And I told him, I said, yeah, it's a 2012 with a front 2019 front end conversion. And he was really impressed about it. He was like, oh, that's really cool. That's what I kind of noticed. I was thinking that, oh, this is it looks like it's a 2012, but the front looks like it's the newer body and all that stuff. I said, yeah, it's just a conversion and all that stuff. So he admired it a little bit, walked around, looked at everything, wanted to look on the inside, which I don't know if he was just checking my car out or whether he was inspecting. He didn't go inside the car, anything of that nature. He didn't do anything of that nature. He just stood there and he looked. You know, that's all he did, was stand there and look at the car. When I opened my door, he opened the back. He kind of just looked inside, and that was it. He didn't do anything extra with looking all the way inside or sticking his head inside or anything like that. He didn't do anything of those of that nature at all. But yeah, those are the only things I would probably warn you about on it, and that's it. And people obviously trying you in traffic all the time. We're trying to race you. Because I've had somebody in a BMW, I've had somebody in an Audi, I had somebody in those Mini Coopers, I've had somebody in a Mini Cooper, I've had somebody in a Mustang, and I've had somebody in a Audi. Did I say Audi? Yeah, Audi. So yeah, it was 4 cars. I've had those cars all try me in traffic. You know, try me and all that stuff. Challenger, sorry, that was the last one, the Challenger. The guy in the Challenger was super cool and all that stuff though. We kind of drove neck on neck, and he kept, revving in front of me and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm not. He rolled his window down. It was like, boy, I was like, nah, I'm good, and all that stuff. So we drove neck on neck together, going, he's just admiring the car. I know I've seen him before in my Mustang. Frankly speaking, I don't know whether he did recognize me or not. I don't know, but same street, when I'm going home, I think he lives in the area, frankly speaking. So, but he was in a Challenger. SRT as well. But yeah, that was basically some of this video. I mean, other than that, I mean, the car is really good. The cars are reliable. You take care of the car will take care of you. The car feels solid, especially the Chargers. They feel really safe when you're in it, because the body feels so heavy though. But it feels like, okay, if I do get in an accident, God forbid, but if I do get in an accident, I feel like, yo, I'll be safe. Compared to my Mustang being, it's a light body, it's tight, and all that stuff, and the steering wheel is right at your chest, almost type of deal. It's barely any space in the back or front. So if you get an impact, you're really gonna hit it. You're gonna feel it, sorry, type of deal. Compared to a Charger, Chrysler 300, they're spaces, they feel like, you'll be all right. You'll be really all right. The Challenger is not too bad as well, but still at the end of the day, it's a Challenger, it's a coupe type of deal, so it's a little bit different than the Chargers and the Chrysler 300. The Chrysler 300, I've owned one as well, but not SRT. I've had a RT Chrysler 300. It is the luxury brand of the vehicle. So if you're buying one, you're thinking you want to go more luxury look, then you want to go for how do you call it? Luxury look over aggressive look. You go for the Chrysler 300. If you want something a little bit more on the aggressive side, go for the Charger. If you want something on a coupe more type of deal, you prefer coupes, obviously, it's the Challenger. And that's about it. The Jeeps, I don't know, I've never owned a Jeep, so I can't really give you guys any intel about the Jeeps, frankly speaking. They look cool, they just don't look like there's much you can do to it, frankly speaking. If you're in the modding field, you like modding your car and all that stuff, I don't think the Jeep, there's much you can do to it. It's still a nice car, regardless, but yeah, it's the SUV basically. And me, personally, SUVs, being fast and all that stuff, I just find that to be a little bit more dangerous than a sedan, owning a sedan and going from there. I think that the sedan is a different situation. The Jeep, I feel like, you having all that power, it has a higher risk of flipping over on a turn, especially if you're one of those that do stupid things. But damn, my video ended up going to be 32 minutes long, so I do apologize about that, guys. But if you haven't subscribed, do please subscribe to my channel. Hit the comments, like the video, share the video if you have to. If you want to, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, do subscribe. I appreciate y'all. And I'll catch y'all on my next video that I'll do for walk around. Maybe do my best to kind of do a little bit of a shorter video than this. But yeah, thank you guys and have a good one.